Happy Saturday, Stack and Sats Day. What's good to the entire crypto fam? In today's show, Bitcoin trader eyes $63,000. Bitcoin price for now as the new Bollinger Band breakout. I'll be breaking this down for you, as well as breaking news. U.S. state of Montana bans all taxes on Bitcoin when used for payments. And quoting Max Kaiser, imagine JFK if he had Bitcoin to do battle with the CIA and central banks. And what you get is President Nayib Bukele today. El Salvador is the new Camelot. Also, check this out. This is just in. Argentina bans purchasing Bitcoin through their payment apps, and their inflation is now at 104%, meaning they need Bitcoin now more than ever. Also in today's show, the U.S. Justice Department is investigating Binance for allegedly violating Russian sanctions. I'll be breaking down this latest report, as well as American CBDC will expand government's power to surveil and control, says presidential candidate Robert Kennedy Jr. Also in today's show, the trader who nailed the Bitcoin bottom says the banking crisis can turn the crypto market bullish. I'll be sharing his latest outlook, as well as the Giga Chad Michael Saylor on Bitcoin says hold on to it and stomach the volatility. He also says Bitcoin is a screaming buy and predicts Bitcoin can hit $5 million per coin. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this, plus so much more, in today's show. And welcome everyone just tuning in. This is pod episode number 1273. I'm your host JV, and today is May 6th. Let's break down today's market watch. As you can see here on your screen, we got the market currently correcting with Bitcoin down 2% for the day, trading just above $28,700. Ether back under 1,900 after eclipsing 2,000 yesterday. It's correcting down 3.5% for the day. And as you can see, all the major alts currently correcting and in the red. And checking out coinmarketcap.com, the crypto market cap is sitting back under 1.2 trillion with 44 billion in volume in the past 24 hours. Bitcoin dominance on the rise at 47.1%. I saw it as high as 47.2% this morning, with the Ether dominance also on the rise at 19.2%. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers in the past 24 hours, Eunice said Leo up 2%, trading at $3.58, followed by SUI up roughly 2%, trading at $1.34, followed by Pax Dollar, as the majority of all the major alts, like I said, are correcting and in the red. And checking out the charts for the past week, massive losses, only a handful in the green, which include Pepe. Actually, now Pepe officially in the red for the week, down 23%. Looks like it just crashed. Correction time. And yeah, like I said, just a handful actually in the green, as the majority of the alts are losing. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, we can see we're currently rated as 60 in greed. Yesterday a 61, last week a 64, and last month a 63 in greed. So there you have it. And again, happy Saturday and welcome to everyone just tuning in. Now let's dive into today's Bitcoin technical analysis and check out the charts and what is popping here in the market. Bitcoin could be set for historic gains thanks to a simple trendline breakout, a popular trader hopes, and a new Twitter discussion. Titan of Crypto flagged a rare bull signal in the Bollinger Band's indicator for the Bitcoin monthly chart. Now the Bitcoin price action currently impacts sentiment in different ways across various timeframes. While observers are unsure about short-term moves, the consensus remains that Bitcoin's upside mainly lies ahead as the block subsidy halving approaches, now less than a year away. When tracking what comes next, it may be enough to look at the past halving cycle, specifically the volatility. As Titan of Crypto notes, the Bollinger Bands on the monthly timeframes are setting up for a repeat of a breakout event that has occurred only once in each cycle. In the two previous instances shown in an accompanying chart from 2016 and 2019, Bitcoin broke through into the upper section of the Bollinger Band channel to see significant gains. Bollinger Bands are a key volatility indicator across price timeframes. They revolve around the 20-period simple moving average, functioning as a midline with two standard deviations above and below, which represent the channel. These bands expand and contract with volatility in certain events, and among them, the price coming into contact with the bands or even breaking beyond them is often considered important by traders. Now, currently, the 1-month Bitcoin chart shows the price attempting to break the SMA line, which, if confirmed, would suggest a classic repeat of the past bull runs. Quoting the analysts here on crypto Twitter, Bitcoin inexorable breakout. Bitcoin is about to break its monthly Bollinger Band baseline, and when it happens, the first target will follow inexorably. That would bring Bitcoin to a solid $63,500, as outlined right here. in this chart. Let me know if you agree or disagree with the crypto analysts. And while not enough to match its current all-time high, the price target can come around the point of the halving in 1 year's time. How long will it need in reality remains to be seen. Now, last month, John Bollinger, the band's creator himself, argued that Bitcoin was at a crucial point on the daily time frames. At that time, the price was retesting the SMA line of support, breaking through to range and around it. Now, however, it's heading higher towards the upper band, as data shows here, and as you can see clearly in this chart. Subsequently, analyst CryptoCon suggested the low time frame Bollinger Band norms remained intact, despite Bitcoin's come down from local highs of 31,000, quoting him here. Even with the last drop in the Bitcoin price, this time is still not different for the Bitcoin 3-week Bollinger Bands. Large corrections have always taken place after an upper parameter is met and exceeded, but not a moment before. The price of the upper band is still $35,790. So there you have it. And breaking news just in, the U.S. state of Montana officially bans all taxes on Bitcoin when used for payments. Let's go. And quoting Max Kaiser, imagine JFK, John F. Kennedy Jr., if he had Bitcoin to do battle with the CIA and central banks, and what you get is President Nayib Bukele. Today, El Salvador is the new Camelot. That's right. And just in, Argentina has banned purchasing Bitcoin through payment apps. Their inflation is now soaring at 104%, meaning Argentina needs Bitcoin now more than ever. Wouldn't you agree? And so let's dive a little deeper into what's happening right now in Argentina, shall we? As pointed out here in this tweet, a new law goes against the Constitution, prohibits the payment service providers from offering customers Bitcoin, which is definitely not a good look. And as pointed out here, dear privileged U.S. Wall Street traders and economists, Bitcoin is more than just a correlated risk-on asset. For 45 million Argentines suffering from now 130% inflation, Bitcoin is at an all-time high in Argentina, having increased by over 28x since 2020. That's right, and expect that to continue if you're to ask me. Now check it out. It's unclear how the measure will affect the local crypto industry. Local media reported the payment providers refused to comment on the decision. Argentina's fintech chamber urged the government to reconsider the decision, claiming it's limited access to a technology that offers multiple benefits and opportunities for societies. Yeah. Facts. Now, hyperinflation is driving crypto adoption in Argentina. Back in April, the price of Bitcoin reached a record high in Argentine pesos, with the Bitcoin exchange rate crossing 6.59 million ARS, up more than 100% year to date. And in March, inflation in the country soared by 104% on the annual basis, following a 102% jump the previous month. Data from the National Statistics Office shows Bitcoin's popularity in the country also coincides with the ongoing devaluation of the Argentine peso. As reported, the currency has fallen almost 50% against the US dollar just in the past year. That's right, and amid the ongoing economic crisis, even some Argentinian cities are seeking a safe haven in cryptos. Last December, the Argentine province of San Luis allowed the issuance of its own stablecoin pegged to the US dollar, available to all the residents and 100% collateralized with liquid financial assets. And Chainalysis found over 30% of consumers in Argentina currently use stablecoins for the everyday purchases, most likely for small retail transactions of under $1,000. So there you have it. I mean, what better way to escape hyperinflation than Bitcoin? So it's not a shock to me that the country doing business with the IMF, is going to be ultimately now not allowing payments in Bitcoin, because they're ultimately trying to control the off-ramps the best they can, because they don't want their people to have access to freedom and wealth, which is the sad reality. And that's why we got to just say no to CBDCs, if you know what I mean. And with that being shared, fam, now let's discuss breaking story of Binance being investigated by the Department of Justice and the shenanigans going on in the largest crypto exchange by volume. Binance under investigation by the Department of Justice National Security Division for allowing Russians to use the crypto exchange in violation of U.S. sanctions, according to a report appeared in Bloomberg on May 5th. Now, this may be nothing more than FUD, so I just wanted to point that out, but nonetheless, this is the mainstream news. There have been no accusations against the company or its executive in connection with the investigation. The national security probe is being carried out in tandem with a criminal division investigation, the news service said, citing 5 unnamed sources. Binance is the object of several investigations in the United States, including a DOJ inquiry into anti-money laundering violations. Binance's limited service to Russia after sanctions were imposed on the country in April of 2022, and still it continued operating there. there, blocking only areas of the Ukraine that were no longer under government control and servicing only non-sanctioned individuals, according to a company executive. That's right, and not looking good for CZ. Binance has also been accused of know your customer and anti-money laundering violations in a suit brought by the U.S. Commodities and Futures Trading Commission back in March, as they seem to be targeted. The company did not reply immediately to any inquiry from Cointelegraph, but it told Bloomberg in a statement that it was compliant with U.S. and international sanctions, and its KYC protocols are in line with those of traditional banking. Every customer is subject to identity and residency checks, it said, and furthermore, our policy imposes a zero-tolerance approach to double registrations, anonymous identities, and obscure sources of money. And in addition, according to Bloomberg, Binance has been in discussions with the DOJ about complaints that it had violated a previous version of sanctions against Iran. Binance is not the only crypto exchange to face sanctions violation scrutiny. Polynex paid a $7.6 million settlement to the U.S. Treasury Department. This was back on May 1st, according to the announcement. So there you have it. What do you think is likely to come out of Binance as a result of being targeted left and right by regulators, authorities alike? Let me know your honest thoughts in the comments right down below. And now let's discuss our next break-in story of the day, and that's a CBDC warning coming from President candidate Robert Kennedy Jr. Let's break this down. U.S. President candidate Robert Kennedy Jr. is warning of the dangers of the central bank digital currencies amid the Fed's plans to roll out an instant payment system known as FedNow, which I've been covering here on the show. Kennedy says that the digitization of currency has provided the government immense powers to surveil and control economic life, and consequently, the U.S. presidential contender, who announced his candidature to the Democratic Party ticket last month, says he is against CBDCs, though he supports the king crypto, BTC. Quoting him here, the ability to save and spend without political interference is a prerequisite for the exercise of meaningful dissent, and I will defend it accordingly. This is not a right or left-wing issue. It's about protecting democracy from powerful established interests. The digitization of currency has given government unprecedented powers to surveil and control economic life. That is why I oppose CBDCs, which will vastly magnify the government's power to suffocate dissent by cutting off access to funds with a keystroke. That's also why I support Bitcoin, which allows people to conduct transactions free from government interference. Bitcoin has been a lifesaver for people's movements around the world, especially in Burma. Very powerful words. And according to Kennedy, financial censorship can occur in the U.S. too, despite the practice being commonly associated with authoritarian regimes. It is not outlandish to imagine, even here in America, your bank account could one day be frozen because of your politics or comments you have made on social media. Preach. He also says, after all, in 2010, PayPal, Visa, and MasterCard suspended WikiLeaks at the behest of the U.S. State Department, and GoFundMe blocked U.S. accounts from sending funds to Canadian truckers and planned to donate the money to their own preferred charities instead, backing down only when faced with a lawsuit. PayPal modified their acceptable use policy to fine users with $2,500 for spreading what they deemed to be misinformation. Facts, a change they rescinded under pressure, but nonetheless, thousands of customers are currently suing PayPal for their arbitrary seizure of their accounts. These are the decisions of private companies, but often those private companies are acting out of fear of Congress or regulators or directly at their bidding. Their decisions impinge directly on our rights. So there you have it. I think he makes a lot of great points, and anyone who is pro-Bitcoin and anti-CBDCs has my support. I mean, that's what it is all about. Obviously, Joe Biden, Trump, and all the other presidential candidates are anti-Bitcoin because they work for the central banks at the end of the day. Now, I don't have much more to say about this presidential candidate, but I just know that CBDCs are no good, and just say no to central bank digital currencies and just start stacking sats if you haven't already began, as it's our antidote to the central bank digital currencies and really our only hope for humanity. You know what I mean? And with that being shared, fam, now let's dive into this U.S. banking crisis. We'll dive deeper how this is going to impact crypto as another bank continues biting the dust virtually every day. And then we'll dive into the latest from Michael Saylor, along with his $5 million throwback Bitcoin price prediction. So let's break this down, and welcome to everyone just tuning into the live show. Popular crypto analyst is optimistic that Bitcoin and other crypto assets could resume an upward trajectory if the U.S. banking crisis crisis worsens, in which we all know it will, synonymous analyst Don Alt tells his 50,000 subs of the Technical Roundup YouTube channel that the U.S. banking crisis offers a bullish narrative for the crypto market. Preach, quoting him here. We do have a few narratives that are actually bullish, in particular the banking narrative, where we have a bunch of smaller banks, but also quite a few big ones in America struggling, and that's the use case of Bitcoin in a nutshell. Bitcoin is the poster child for any of that, so it should technically do well when banks do not. It's as simple as that. If banks eat ish in a way where the entire world and the company economy doesn't collapse, you're going to do well in crypto, most likely. I think he makes a great point, as it's a great risk off factor for hyperinflation, you know what I mean, to hedge against the dollar. And according to the anonymous crypto analyst, Bitcoin would be trading lower from the current levels were it not for the U.S. banking crisis. Quoting him here, that's the narrative that is kind of making the bearish play harder, because I think if we didn't have that narrative, we would have been 26 to 27,000 already. And Don Alt says that he is currently out of the market, but would turn bullish again if Bitcoin climbs above a key resistance area. Quoting him here, if we go back to 30,000, especially so quickly after we tested it the first time, there is a chance that we're going to break it, and then we might have some quick moves, and I'll be more happy to be bullish in that point again. But right now, I'm more than happy to be out of the market. So there you have it. And to watch this video analysis by Don Alt entitled Bitcoin at Resistance, Alt's Wrecked, check the show notes below the video in the description. With that being shared, now let's dive into our final breaking story of the day, discuss the latest from the Giga Chat himself, Michael Saylor, and dissect his $5 million Bitcoin price prediction, and then we'll dive into some live Q&A. Earlier this week, the NASDAQ-listed firm MicroStrategy said impairment losses related to his Bitcoin holdings narrowed more than 90% sequentially to 18.9 million in the first quarter, according to Saylor. Quoting him here, Bitcoin is the ultimate digital scarcity network. It's moved up about 50% on average over the last 3 years. The key with Bitcoin is to be able to hold on to it and stomach the volatility. And I remind you, Bitcoin has volatility because, as Michael Saylor once said, volatility is life force. MicroStrategy now owns a total of 140,000 Bitcoins, one of the largest holders in the world. And in fact, they were the first publicly traded company to put Bitcoin on its balance sheet. Remember the infamous quote of Michael Saylor comparing the balance sheet of like Apple to a melting ice cube because they're losing so much money in purchasing power as the dollar continues to dwindle in purchasing power. So he says, naturally, therefore, the recent surge in Bitcoin that is still up some 70% for the year has been a meaningful tailwind for the company. MicroStrategy has more than doubled since the start of this year. Not too shabby. So Saylor attributes the strength in the price of Bitcoin this year, particularly to inflation that is still running at an annualized rate of 5% in the United States, well above the Fed's 2% target. That's right, the recent bank failures, he added, have also hurt the confidence in fiat currencies. On CNBC's Closing Bell Overtime, Saylor said, Bitcoin is a bank in cyberspace run by incorruptible software, so the phase, be your own bank, has emerged as an investment idea in the United States. And interestingly, he dubbed the ongoing crypto crackdown as a benefit for Bitcoin, as well as since it has established a reputation as a safe haven asset. And now let's dive a few years back when Michael Saylor made this very bullish $5 million Bitcoin price prediction and said that Bitcoin was a screaming buy. This was from an interview he did, quoting him word for word here. I can see Bitcoin going to 1 million. I can see it going to 5 million, because if it simply replaces all the indexes as a monetary index fund, why shouldn't it go to 100 trillion in market cap or something like that? And then he goes on to share. And at this time, FYI, MicroStrategy held roughly 90,000 Bitcoin. Today, they hold 140,000. Quoting him here, in my life, I have never seen something that was such a screaming signal. You have got 200 to 300 trillion dollars of the addressable market. You have got a problem. Money is not sound. You have got engineered, thermodynamically sound money. You have got a dominant network. Everybody's decided it's the network and it's exploding. The signal that is exploding is it's growing 200% a year, every year for 12 years running. That's the signal. That's right, 200% gains on average year after year for the past 12 years. Saylor predicts that Bitcoin's asset growth rate is unlikely to be replicated by Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, and Google, and notes the following. Now, do I think Apple, Amazon, Facebook, and Google are going to go up by a factor of 10 from this point? Not really. I think they're plus 20, minus 20, plus 100. Maybe they will double. Maybe they will triple. And Saylor adds the Bitcoin's potential became far easier to understand following the economic fallout and increase in money printing that began back in 2021. Quoting him here, or I guess he should say 2020. Bitcoin got to be much easier to trade in March of 2020, and every month since March of 2020 it's been de-risked exponentially, and then the need is exploding. So there you have it. Let me know if you agree or disagree with his $5 million Bitcoin price prediction. And the $1 million question becomes, by what year do you feel this will turn into a reality? Obviously, we haven't even eclipsed 6 figures yet, so 7 figures is far out, but nonetheless, many experts and analysts are predicting a 6-figure Bitcoin price around the time of the next halving, which is now less than a year away. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments right down below. And with all that being shared, now let's dive into today's live Q&A. Welcome to each and every one of you in today's live chat. I appreciate the super chat contributions as well. So thank you very much, Lawrence Avramoth, who wrote, "This man is awesome for health and crypto news." I greatly appreciate that, fam, as always. And Matthew J., who also sent a super chat contribution and wrote, "Crypto news alerts is the best place to be." Greatly appreciate that. It means the world to me. Lazarus Han, welcome. Happy Saturday, Stack and Sats Day. OG Backroad Crypto Bootleg was good, fam a jam. Good to see you as well. Always a pleasure. I'm hoping we get some good news on regulation front on Wednesday, May 10th, says Matthew J. Yeah, same here. That's right around the corner this week. Or I should say, yeah, this coming week. Remember to smash that like on the way in. It's free and easy to do so. I greatly appreciate that. Everyone who is new to the channel, make sure you're subscribed, smash that like, and turn on all notifications if you don't already have that bell icon smashed. Of course, JB, love your show, the best show in the business. Much, much love. Thank you. Lawrence Abramoff wrote, "Dankness, what's going on? Been a while since it's Sunday, and I also want to watch F1 after. Made time to be awake." That's what's up. Shout out to Lawrence. I think I heard you say you're in Australia right now. Came up with the best idea, fam. If anyone can get a sweetheart deal off their credit card for a year, word up. Good use of funds to stack sats. I did it. 3.99 PA cheaper than my house. That's what's up. Talk about like percentage points. Not too shabby. Lazarus says, "Word, happy Saturday. Happy Saturday, fam. I just keep raising my goals, checking them off slowly, and setting a new higher goal." That's what's up, Matthew. Congratulations. Keep doing what you're doing. Lawrence says, "After the show, I'm going to take a car out of the rain and a bit of fang. I am in Perth. Can drive with my eyes closed at this time, midnight. Just be careful out there, fam." You know what I mean? Megadon, good morning and welcome. Good to see you tuned in here today. Appreciate you. Good day, as always. Oh, definitely. There's literally no one on the roads at this time, especially since it's raining. Word, we'll enjoy it. The open roads. Grandpa Rock back to 12,000. I think not. Is anyone else in that same camp that Bitcoin's heading back to $12,000? I think that the bottom was in that we hit last year. Was that back in November around that time? Yeah, we hit 15,600. I believe that's the bottom of the cycle, and I don't even think we're going to see sub $20,000 prices ever again, but that's just me. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Road Runner, good morning and welcome. Please buy Bitcoin. I've got shareholders breathing down my neck. Word up, Road Runner. Keep buying those sats. Probably bullish XRP long 2030 timeframe. Lawrence, they still have 50 bullish-ish coins to unlock. Good morning, bring facts. What's new, fam? Appreciate you tuning in as always. And not that I'm bullish XRP, I just think that they will be involved with CBDCs. I think we'll have two-tiered system, Bitcoin and Freedom system, and XRP, ETH, alts, and CBD system. Just my opinion. Appreciate you sharing your opinion, fam. Not necessarily, Lawrence. 100 billion in AKTA tokens, and 89% are owned by top 100 wallets for XRP with 47 billion more to unlock. Go Montana, says Jeff S. That's right. Shout out to Montana. 100 billion is a lot. Didn't mean AKT, says Matthew. Come on, Argentina. You can't stop Bitcoin. That's right. The government can try because they're influenced by the IMF. When you take the money from the IMF, you're controlled by the IMF. So you have to do their bidding. That's what makes El Salvador and Bukele so different from the rest of the world. They said F you to the IMF. They paid off their loan to the IMF, and they're no longer controlled by the IMF, and hence why Bitcoin is the legal tender. They don't care what the IMF has to say. They don't care about their FUD. They don't care about their attacks, and that's why, El Salvador is the new Camelot. You know what I mean? A couple of ways to look at it, Lawrence. USD is highly used by banks, goes down in value. XRP is part of ISO 2022 tokens to replace SWIFT. Could be highly used, but not highly valued. XRP. Say More says, my man, be on it every day, and we appreciate it. Say More, McCallum. I appreciate you tuning in, fam. Andrew, too. Appreciate you as well. Mike Well, good morning and welcome. Hopefully Binance moves offshore and save us all in escaping the U.S. government. It seems this way. We already got news and word that major centralized exchanges are opening up shop in countries around the world, including Coinbase. I believe they just got licensed in Bermuda. You have another major exchange licensed in Brazil, and they're going to be launching derivatives. And I think Gemini, another major exchange owned by the Winklevoss twins, because quite frankly, they're sick of no clarity Gary and the lack of, clarity from the regulators, which causes a lot of uncertainty and fear in the market, so they can continue to manipulate the prices, ultimately suppressing the price action of many cryptos to the best of their abilities. And I mean, the market for crypto is much larger outside the United States. So I don't think it's going to hurt these exchanges to not even do business in the U.S. if they're going to have to deal with these regulators. They much just rather do business outside the U.S. And who really suffers the most? The U.S. investors. I said it. The same organization that's supposed to be here to protect the U.S. investors is hurting them and causing problems and making these investors lose money. The same company, FTX, that was regulated by the SEC and having private undisclosed, meetings with the chairman and Scam Bankman-Fried, they're doing business together and colluding. And this is the same one that hurt hundreds of millions of investors and lost over roughly $10 billion. And this guy is not even in jail right now, right? And, well, I don't know. Maybe he won't even go to jail. We shall soon see how this plays out. But, that's the world we're living in, fam. Hopefully, we'll see. CBDC means say goodbye to the land of the free. Facts. You already know, fam. Tough Cookie, good morning and welcome. JB, good morning. Nice day. DCA and add some sass. You already know. 100%. We need another Black Swan event, says Lawrence. Megadon says, regarding Argentina in a few years, you couldn't need an off-ramp. Stack sats and using fragments as a currency. Word up. Ignore the FUD and buy the good stuff. Sage advice. I'll just repeat it for the fam. If you can't get a sweetheart deal on your credit card, good way to stack. Word up. I mean, by any means necessary, continue stacking them sats, right? Puerto Rico party incoming. That's right. Once we hit six figures here for the Bitcoin price action, we're going to have a big party celebration here in Puerto Rico, and all of y'all are invited, and I'm absolutely looking forward to that. If you're going to be attending, let me know. I think we can likely see six figures by next year sometime in 2024. That's my prediction. Let me know when you think six figures will likely hit for the King Crypto. As we all know, it's inevitable, in just a matter of time. Smash the likes. I greatly appreciate that. Thanks for the catch up. We'll be switching to streaming from the car. Appreciate that, Lawrence. As always, much love and much respect. Shout out to the Veggie Monster. 12,000 is a joke. Sorry, brother. I agree with that, Megadon. Agree, says Tough Cookie. Thank you, JV. Appreciate you and all your hard work for all of us, says V. Much love, respect. Mark Thomas, 12,000. Hell no, we're on the way up. Exactly. John Tipton, Bitcoin airdropping freedom, one orange pill at a time. You already know, fam. I am a buyer at 12,000 still. You already know. Gorilla Ice, if you're not in Bitcoin, you are going to miss the boat. You have about 8 more days. Man, wouldn't that be something if we see that God candle and we just cross 30 right on up to 40,000? I think that will melt some faces. I was a buyer last week, and next week, you already know. Hope So Gorilla. Megadon, I'm also a buyer at 12,000. Worth this face. Exactly. Stupid wealth on display. Gold carriage and crowns. Exactly. Not my king. I rule myself. 100%. If you have Bitcoin, you have self-sovereignty so that you can rule yourself. Unfortunately, if you don't have Bitcoin, you are ruled by money. Whoever controls the money controls the people. And obviously, the central bank and the governments control the money. So don't let them control you, if you know what I mean. Two amazing Bitcoin books. What two books are we referring to bring facts? Let's see. The Uncommunist Manifesto by Mark Moss and Saifedean Ammous. Oh, word up. You're referring to the Bitcoin Standard? Shout out to Saifedean. 6 figures probably next year. I agree with you, Mark Thomas. I feel it's most likely to occur sometime between 2024 and 2025. And then I think we hit the cycle peak of multiple 6 figures sometime in 2025. That's my prediction. I made it. I smashed like and will catch the replay. Thank you so much, Satwise Jenks. I greatly appreciate all your continued support. Lazy Turtle in the building. What's good, Lazy? Bitcoin Conference 2023 in 2 weeks. Who is joining? Oh, I thought the conference was kicking off actually this weekend. Is it a whole nother 2 weeks from now? Didn't know that. Good stuff to note. And is this the conference, the infamous one in Miami, the largest Bitcoin conference in the world? Let me know. Only number 39, pump up the likes to 50 before the end of the show. Greatly appreciate that, Satwise Jenks. I think a great target is to get 100 likes. Considering there's over 100 people on the show, we should be getting 100 likes every episode, you know what I mean, while we're live, and then it should grow to 200, 300, 400, 500 after the show. My brother went last year. I got a Bitcoin 2022 shirt. That's what's up. I was there last year. I remember seeing Jack Mullers. I remember seeing Peter Thiel, Max Kaiser, Michael Saylor, even Francis Ngannou, the heavyweight champ from the UFC, who is now retired from the UFC and is a free agent. But nonetheless, there were a lot of people there. Even Serena Williams, the famous tennis player, obviously the largest crypto event. And I think, who else did I hear was going to be there this year? There's a lot of guests, obviously. So, okay, it is on the 17th in Miami. So, yeah, 2 more weeks out. Word up. Good to note. You my boy, Blue. You my boy, Donovan Olson. I appreciate you tuning in as always as well, fam. Much love and much respect. Alan Haley, welcome. Good afternoon. Happy Saturday. Says Bring Facts. Never heard of that book, but that name makes it sound like a good one, right? Well, be sure to check it out. I'm here, JV, a bit late. I will have to rewind to catch up. All good, crypto fam. Greatly appreciate each and every one of y'all's support. And with all that being shared, now for a recap of what I covered with you here in today's show, we discussed the latest technical analysis as Bitcoin trader eyes 63,000 Bitcoin price action for the new Bollinger Bands breakout. I also shared breaking news with you that the U.S. state of Montana bans all taxes on Bitcoin when used for payments, and not so good news coming out of Argentina, them banning purchasing Bitcoin through their payment apps as their inflation is now over 100%, and meaning they need Bitcoin right now more than ever. We also discussed more breaking news of the U.S. Department of Justice investigating Binance for allegedly violating Russian sanctions, according to this latest report. We also discussed American CBDC will expand the government's power to surveil and control, says presidential candidate Robert Kennedy Jr. We also discussed trader who nailed the Bitcoin bottom, says this banking crisis can turn the crypto market bullish, and I shared his latest outlook. We also discussed the latest from Michael Saylor on Bitcoin, who says hold on to it and stomach the volatility, because volatility is life force. And we also discussed Michael Saylor's prediction the Bitcoin can hit $500,000 per coin. But where do you feel the Bitcoin price is likely to go next? Let me know in the comments.